This is our cutout version of Chris here, and then we're going to pop him into a 3D environment. And what we've done is that we've set up a camera, which is our new virtual camera, to reveal the city as a whole. But of course there's nothing here at the moment. We can build up the city all the way from, first thing in the background would be the sky. And what we've done here is that we've painted an image and used some stock photography to create a sort of thundery cloud image. Then we're using that on top of this, and we're pushing out this where the clouds are, so that as we animate it, it will make it look as though the clouds that are closer to us are moving faster. And then on top of that, we'll add in some different lightning and things to actually make the sky a bit more alive. And then what we do is that we create the virtual London. And the way that we've done this is that we start off with, which is something from Google Maps that gives me an idea of spacing within the city. So I know, for instance, that our reference photography used for this was done by a photographer called David Banks, who very kindly agreed to allow us to use this. And I know that he took the photographs from a building in the Barbican. So basically what we do is we take this map here, and then we can cut out and place individual images. This would be an image of Canary Wharf. We've got an image of the Gherkin and Tower 42. What I've done here is I've combined both the image and also this, which is an animation of the lights at the top. So the lights animate. And then at the end of the day, all of this gets mapped onto a single card within 3D. And what we've got here is that we've got our London. So we've got the sky, and we've got all the individual buildings with all the animation. Now, what we've done is that we've not only created this view, but we've also got a view of just the lights. And then this section down here is all about trying to make that look a bit more realistic by taking the lights, blurring them, giving it some heat haze. Next step is to actually start adding the weather. So what I've got here is a number of sequences of some rain that we've created, and these are created within here using what we call a particle system. So lots and lots of individual images raining around. We've got rain for the foreground, we've got rain for the midground, and we've got the distant rain as well. And then what we can do is that we can create that effect where rain becomes backlit. So we use the colours of the city to help backlight the rain. And then we merge all of these together with the rain and also the halos around the lights. Next port of call is obviously there's some windows there. What we've done is that we've taken the actual physical set, we've rebuilt it in here because the windows of the location were great, but they're actually doors, and that's not really what we're looking for. So we've generated some windows here that are much more reflective of the story, because these represent the fragmented G8, and we rebuild all the reflections. So the end result of this is a series of images, which is basically just the animated reflection. So what happens next is that we add that reflection to the top of the city. So we start making it look more like we're actually in a room now. The room obviously includes the frame of the window and the sides. One of the important things though is the glass itself. Glass is never totally transparent, and what we need to do is we need to make the glass quite dirty. So we've painted some textures, mixed in with some dust and some patterning, and then that feeds into our recreation of the bedroom. This is the output of that, so it's just the actual room itself. It's the framework, it's the dirty windows, and it's the sides. We add that on top of our city, and we can still see the elements of the dirt and things. And the important thing is that as the camera moves, then the reflections move independently, and also the dirt on the window moves appropriately. One of the things that's important though is that when we're trying to make things look realistic, then we will take the light and we'll bleed the light around the edges. Now obviously, moving along quite far, next thing we need is we need Rich in there. So we pop him in, and again we do the same sort of thing. If we look at Rich by himself, and we can look at him on top of there, what we do need is that we need the effects of the light around him. And that helps sit him within the scene properly. And at the end of this we have a comp which includes the city, the layers of rain, the animated lights, we've got the foreground, the reflections. So the final thing really is to try and make it look slightly less digital. All of the lenses, all real lenses, distort, so we apply distortion to this image as well. So it creates a little bit of an effect there. And then also it's important to try and recreate some of the optical problems that lenses have. So if I zoom in to here, the windows here, if I turn this on and off, or if I turn it up, of the lens. Basically all the faults of lenses we'll try and recreate here. And finally we add in some more softening, give it a general smear, and at the end of it we have our sequence. So all the way from a green screen shoot, combining lots of 2D photography, some animation, some 3D animation, sandwich it all together, and at the end of the day we have our virtual city. And we only have another 200 shots like that to do. This is our web-based system where we have all of the individual files that make up the assembly as it stands at the moment, and we can also see that on a per shot basis. So here we have every single edit that's in the film right now, and I can open up one of the edits and I can see thumbnails of the scene that's being used, and I can see at any time what needs to be done with the shot and what's been done with the shot. So, and if we focus in on one particular shot, we get the ability to make notes, we get to talk about what sort of grade the shot should have. And so through this system here, which not only does it keep us up to date with how the edit is, but it also means that I can press buttons and I can actually get it to update within Nuke and make sure all of the grading and everything is synchronized together. It just enables us to work cleverer, it enables us to work with less people, it enables us to automate the things that should be automated and just let the artists concentrate on the things that artists do best, which is drawing pretty pictures.